Welcome to Muslim Apologetics Australia. So in this video, we're going to expose certain aspects of the media. The media is divided, and just like you may have religious division, just like you have cultural division or differences, just like you may have political division, you also have division in the media. Whichever media network tells you that they are unbiased in their reporting is absolutely lying to you. Every media network has their own personal biases, whether we like it or not. That is why you'll have certain people listening to certain media networks and avoiding other media networks. So if you have a look at the political spectrum, so you'll have people on the right, the far right, you'll have people on the left, you'll have people somewhere in between who really can't make their mind up, but generally it's people who are on the left and who are on the far right, okay? And so when we look at the media networks who are on the far right, these are the people who are generally all about white supremacy. They are all about, even if they don't admit it, people who are racist, people who are against immigration and so forth, people who are hostile against other cultures, about preserving white identity. You'll have Zionists who are part of this. You will have Christian nationalists who are with this, not necessarily Orthodox Christians who are more religious. These are more of the Protestant or who tie themselves to secularism, who are more nationalistic in their Christian beliefs. These people will turn themselves to the far right media networks. And I'm going to give you a clear demonstration of what a far right media network looks like. An example of this is Sky News. Sky News, you'll find all the people who hate Islam, who hate immigrants, who hate Indians. It's not just reserved for Muslims, they hate Indians and so forth as well. Anyone that doesn't look like them, these networks, these alternative right have an agenda, obviously, and I'm going to demonstrate to you the evidence of that. It's clear. It's clear as day. It's not, I don't really need to prove this to you, but I'm just going to show you a demonstration anyway, because just reading their articles, you'll see that there's a huge biases. They are pro-Israel, pro-killing Muslims, and these groups will always target Muslims in their media networks, and that's why a lot of these Zionist movements, and I'm pretty sure they are definitely funding Sky News, these networks, whether it be Rupert Murdoch's Herald Sun or the Australian and so forth. But let's just specifically talk about Sky News, and you're going to see that yesterday, I think it was 16 neo-Nazis were caught in Australia. They've been arrested, and their case is now ongoing because some of them displayed Nazi symbols. Now you would think that Sky News Australia in particularly, would publish this news, right? Well, no, they didn't. They didn't publish this news. And I'm going to show you the evidence of that. So if you search through Facebook, Sky News Australia, they posted a media about the neo-Nazis on Australia gathering. This was in 2024, January of 2024. They posted this. They spoke about the neo-Nazis. Have a listen.
On Sydney for the third day in a row yesterday. On Australia Day, 60 of these cowards boarded a train and carrying banners and chanting slogans. The New South Wales Premier has vowed some tough action.
And the message I would say really loud and clear is those who are attempting to menace people in an anonymous way. In New South Wales, the police have the ability to unmask you. So in front of your family, your friends, your employers, your co-workers, you'll be exposed as a massive racist.
Yeah, wouldn't you love to know who's under those masks? Let's go to the New South Wales Shadow.
Okay, so as you can see, the Sky News is condemning this. They're saying, what are neo-Nazis doing on Australia Day? You know, what are they doing? And they're being condemned, right? So what's changed in the last 12 months? Because it just happened again on Australia Day, but Sky News has been completely silent on it. Let's have a look. So this is the Sky News Australia Facebook page. Have a look.
Palestinian refugees to neighbouring Arab countries. Now, Donald Trump has called on...
Know anything about Donald Trump, you know he's a man, never ever misses.
The reason we're talking to you today is because RFK...
Talking about Donald Trump, the executive orders do not...
So as you can see, I'm going to keep scrolling down until I come across the article yesterday where Australia Day happened and neo-Nazis were again taking over Australia Day, and there's nothing being mentioned on Sky News. Let's keep searching on their Facebook pages.
Get stuff done.
Now where things are heating up with regard to, this is an election year for them and it's very...
there's a way that this can be done.
Nothing.
Where I just love, you know, the fight that is
Nothing
just continuing.
again, 3 hours
person
ago.
in the world, the one of them being Kelly. You can...
Something about spy agency in China, COVID, nothing. Queensland police officer father fighting for life, nothing.
The only place you're going to see him on Aussie telly, certainly regular.
But first, a man told by a pub to...
Spoke about on the show
COVID,
last night,
nothing.
the CIA...
Prime Minister, election year. Billions of dollars in promise.
Prime Minister, ago.
Election year.
You have actually seen the journalists appalled by this can-do style, particularly on the borders. I thought Vice President J.D. Vance...
Some early signs that the inflation number, which is about to be released in the next...
Hearings are continuing in the Senate this week with Tulsi Gabbard. J.D. Vance has clashed with CBS anchor.
President Trump's border czar Tom...
Of the horror death camp Auschwitz have spoken about the global rise in anti-Semitism at the 80th Liberation Remembrance Service. And they've warned that it's the same hatred that led to the Holocaust in the first place. Among the audience were world leaders, royals, politicians, and 78 global television networks. Not, however, the ABC or SBS. News Corp's Europe correspondent Sophie Ellsworth was there.
So interesting, they're talking about the Holocaust, and there was a big commemoration about it. They're saying, oh, the ABC and all these other leftist networks weren't there. Yet Sky News isn't mentioning anything about the Nazis that were in South Australia that were arrested. The hypocrisy, right? So again, no mention.
And
let's keep going.
It's not just Donald Trump.
5 hours ago.
Don't forget. It's not
to a story that 15 months Australians have been bewildered.
Nothing there, Sky News, blah, blah, blah.
Hegseth says at the Pentagon.
Trump,
now, this Jabs Newsweek's...
Plenty of Trump's released...
Now is Washington.
This is interesting because the
Pentagon...
Now, there was an earthquake today.
About earthquake. They're even talking about
Queensland
earthquakes.
government has halted all
Climate
stage today,
change,
but unfortunately, because
He's running a
LGTBI,
campaign
comedian,
against
Sending all the
6
wrong messages
hours,
when it comes
nothing.
to have gone into a tailspin today.
interesting after years
Lab
of being
break,
told
nothing.
that
Global markets have gone into a tailspin.
Shadow
The fears that Labor's again sending all
immigration,
more evidence today that
Surely,
Labor
I mean, it's
esteemed
8 hours
geologist
in now.
and esteemed geologist
8
and
hours
wide
in.
immigration crackdown has resulted in the arrest of almost 1,000 people, according to Immigration and Customs
Nothing.
Enforcement. Members who were dismissed for refusing the vaccine.
On catching up with him last week, some reason we couldn't get the satellite.
raised alarm bells.
7 hours. Nothing.
Everyone, families, small businesses.
Let's talk
Nothing,
Selena
nothing.
Gomez.
About the collapse in.
Again, so we're 7 hours into it, and there's not a single article, about the neo-Nazis being arrested. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if terrorists were arrested, like if it was associated with Muslims or Arabs? Can you imagine? Can you imagine their Facebook page would be filled with article after article, right?
He's comedian and
Let's
host
keep
of
going. Let's keep going. Maybe 9 hours in we
Prime
might
Time.
find something. Maybe.
I'm with Alex Stein. Alex, great to
Has found young men commemoration of the 80th and 1500 January 6 criminal.
No.
back to Sky News political editor.
Last week, as we told you last.
2025. But
Time for return in the coming. Now, speaking about our education system, over in the US.
Remember COVID-19? Remember how the virus.
Again, we're 80 hours in. I'm still not seeing an article. Not a single
Let's
article.
go to Victoria now. Let's go to Victoria.
Joining us now.
Victoria now and catch up with Liberal member 4 and catch up with Lyndon.
Now from London, Prince Andrew and his Anna Wintour has repeated. Now you are
We're
in London.
We're 9 hours in, folks. 9 hours in, imagine.
Look, what is clear, it's interesting. Finally, I want to get your...
We're going straight with the market statement.
Princess Eugenie and her husband, Princess Anne. Well, it's been 1 week. Today marks the 80th anniversary of the liberation of the largest Nazi concentration camp, Auschwitz.
Okay, so they're just talking about Auschwitz, but they're not talking about the Nazis being arrested in Australia.
Pop star Selena Gomez is the last...
Let's go to our panel now. The first time we're catching up for the...
Okay, so I'd like to break it out to you. We're 11 hours in. There's actually no news mentioned. What if we go to the Facebook page and in the search engine, if we write the news of these arrests of these Nazis, let's see which other media networks do actually talk about it. Okay, so I'm going to put in the search engine here, we're going to put neo-Nazis arrested Australia. Okay, we'll click it on. Oh, look, the ABC News is mentioning it. ABC Facebook, right? Okay, so the ABC, who they say the leftists, okay, they're mentioning 5 hours ago, neo-Nazis refused to sign bail forms as 14 far-right extremists involved in Australia Day rally released. So here's my question. Why has Sky News refused? I mean, last year on Australia Day, they did make a report of the neo-Nazis. Why haven't they made a report this year? What's actually changed? Have they become even more radicalized than they originally were? Which other news articles are mentioning it? The Advertiser has put this. What else? 7 News has documented this. 7 News Adelaide.
There have been extraordinary scenes at the Adelaide Magistrates Court as more than a dozen neo-Nazis appeared over the Australia Day protest.
One of their supporters was arrested after swearing at police, while the group's leader is still behind bars tonight.
One by one,
Happy Australia Day, ma'am.
a steady stream of white supremacists step out of the City Watch House after appearing in court, all singing from the same song sheet.
Was it worth it?
Happy Australia Day. Happy Australia Day, guys.
Still holding flags flown during their far-right rally. They called for white power.
What did you want to say about your arrest?
16 National Socialist Network members were arrested. Most fronted court today and were granted bail, while a supporter who arrived to pick up his friends voiced his views.
Why can't we accept other cultures in Australia?
Why should we? Why shouldn't Australia be Australian? Why don't you like Australian? It's not good enough for you? You want it to be Chinese? You want it to be Indian instead?
Taking on the police too.
You're not a legislator. You're not a judge. You're a police officer. You do your job according to the laws on the books. You don't make them up as you go. All right?
Let me know when you're done and I'll answer.
No.
Are you finished?
No. I don't have to answer because I'm not loitering.
Before being quickly arrested and charged with 2 counts of display a Nazi symbol.
Hey, I don't have my ID on me. I'll tell you my ID. Where is your ID? You're wearing a Nazi.
So these guys displayed Nazi symbols, right? And he tries to deny him. So, and that's actually an offence. That's a terroristic offence. How do we know it's a terroristic offence? Because when those synagogues were getting attacked and Nazi symbols were being drawn on those synagogues, the Australian government came out and said that they're going to be prosecuted. Those who are convicted of doing this will be prosecuted with terror charges, terror-related charges. Well, we're still waiting for these terror-related charges to be enforced. Will they be enforced because these guys aren't Muslims? That's another story. Because it seems that the terror charges are enforced if you are a Muslim, which is another point. But as you can see, 7 News mentions this.
Symbol on the Sunday.
All right. Who else mentions this?
Staged a vile counter.
Who else mentions this? Sunrise. So it's also on the Sunrise.
Members of the National.
The Advertiser mentions it. Right? In Daily, I'm not sure who they are. So there you go. 7 News Adelaide mentions it. WA Today mentions it. Where's Sky News? I'm just like, where
today were met with throngs of police.
National Indigenous Times mentions it. So there's nothing. Look, have a look. Now, you may say, oh, look, Sky News mentions something here, but no, that's from 2023. Remember? 2020. They've only got something mentioned from 2023. Nothing from 2025. They've got something from 2023, something from 2024, nothing from 2025. Like, what's changed with Sky News? How have these people become more radicalized? And I've also checked, you can go check it yourself. I also went to Sky News, who is related to Sky News Australia, and there's actually nothing there as well. I've gone all the way in, absolutely nothing. And this is absolutely unbelievable. So there you have it, folks. This is a clear demonstration that they have become more radicalized, and they try to claim that they're against Nazism and so forth. But it depends on what type of Nazism. So if you are a Nazi in Germany and you're killing Jews, not a problem. This is something that we are against. This is really bad. This is evil. We're going to speak against it. But if it's Nazis in Australia who are holding Australian flags and saying that how they hate the Chinese and the Indians and they want to stop immigrants, then apparently, and despite even displaying Nazi symbols, apparently it's not newsworthy for Sky News Media. Unbelievable, hey?